In the morning, she wore her best saree. She told her mother she'd be back by evening. She'd packed her jewelry. She carried the little cash she had saved. And she walked out the door with a smile on her face, believing she had finally found the man who would change her life. She never came home. The man who took her away wasn't a stranger. He wasn't some shadowy figure lurking in the dark. He was educated, charming, well-spoken. He had promised her a wedding. He had promised her a future. What he gave her instead was a small white pill, disguised as a contraceptive, and a death so fast, she never had time to scream. His name was Mohan Kumar, government school teacher, husband, father, and between 2004 and 2009, he did this to 20 women. Stay with me until the very end of this video, because what makes this case unlike any serial killer story you've heard before is not just the method, it's the system, it's the silence. It's the one woman who survived and had the courage to walk into a police station and change everything. And it's the chilling question that this case forces us to ask. How does a man kill 20 women across 6 years and nobody notices? Mohan Kumar Vivekanand was born on April 6, 1963, in Karnataka. On paper, he was unremarkable. Completed his education, enrolled in a Bachelor of Arts program, and by 1984, he had begun working as a primary school teacher. In the government schools of Dakshina, Kannada, and Udupi districts, for nearly 2 decades he taught children aged 6 to 10. Kannada language, social studies, the basics of the world. His colleagues remembered him as punctual, disciplined. Nothing special, but nothing concerning either. But beneath that ordinary surface, Mohan Kumar was quietly building a double life, then a triple one. He had been married once, divorced in the early 1990s. He then married a woman named Manjula. Without her knowledge, secretly married a third woman, Sri Devi, in a different town entirely. Both women lived in separate cities. Neither knew about the other. He spent a few days with each, rotating between them, using his government jobs transfers as a cover story. His salary ranged from 5 to 10,000 rupees a month, barely enough for one household, let alone 2. And this financial strain, combined with a psychology that we will examine later, became the engine that drove him to kill. But the murders didn't begin with rage. They didn't begin with an impulse.
Oh.
They began with a plan. A cold, calculated, terrifying plan. Mohan Kumar was not a random predator. He was a hunter with a very specific profile in mind. He targeted unmarried women, mostly between 18 and 35 years old. It's from poor and lower middle class families. Women who wanted stability, women who dreamed of a better life, women who had very little and so had everything to hope for. He found them through matrimonial advertisements, through mutual acquaintances, sometimes through sheer practiced cold approach. He never introduced himself as a teacher, presented himself as a government officer, a man of status, security, and a promising future. He used a fake name, called himself Anand. He was charming in a way that felt safe. He wasn't flashy or aggressive, he was warm, attentive. He knew exactly what a woman from a struggling family needed to hear. He spoke of marriage, of a stable home, of a family that would welcome her. Once trust was established, he would propose. But here's where the trap closed. He would tell her to keep it a secret from her family, just for now, until the time was right. He would convince her to elope, to dress in her best clothes, to bring her jewelry, to bring cash, because his family would expect a proper bride. They believed him, every single one, because he wasn't threatening, he wasn't suspicious. He was exactly the kind of man a vulnerable woman would feel fortunate to have found. He would take them to lodges. Room 23 of Sandman Lodge in Hassan is where Anitha Bangera spent her last moments alive. He would have sex with them. And then, calmly, without any visible emotion, he would reach into his pocket and produce 2 small white capsules. "These are contraceptives," he would say. "Take one before we travel. It works best while you're moving, not doing anything suspicious." He would walk them to the bus stand. He would watch them swallow the pill with water from the public washroom tap. The pill was cyanide. Death from cyanide poisoning is rapid. Cardiac arrest within minutes. The body collapses. By the time anyone found these women, slumped in bus stand toilets, on roadsides, outside temples, Mohan Kumar was already gone. Headed to the nearest gold loan company to pawn their jewelry, and then on to find his next victim. In 2005 alone, 6 women died this way, and for years, no one connected the dots. This is the part of this story that should make you furious. These women were reported missing. Their families went to the police. They begged for help. Over and over, those complaints were dismissed, mishandled, or simply ignored. When Anitha Bangara's family filed a missing person complaint, the officer on duty filed it under love jihad, the assumption being that a young woman had simply run away with a man of a different faith. Case closed. Nobody investigated further. The bodies were found at bus stands, outside temples, on the sides of roads. Post-mortem reports clearly indicated cyanide poisoning. But because these women were unidentified, because no one came to claim them, the authorities simply disposed of the bodies and moved on. No follow-up, no pattern recognition, no connecting of the evidence that was right there in front of them. For 6 years, Mohan Kumar walked completely free. Not because he was invisible, but because the system was not designed to protect women who looked like his victims. That truth is darker than any crime. By late 2008 and early 2009, police in coastal Karnataka had begun noticing a pattern. Women from similar backgrounds, found dead in public places, cyanide in their systems, no clear suspects. Cases spread across multiple districts, and then came the breakthrough that changed everything. One woman survived. She had been given the pill. She had swallowed it. But somehow, by some margin of fate, she survived the poisoning. And instead of staying silent, instead of hiding what had happened to her out of fear or shame, she walked into a police station and told them everything. Her testimony was the single thread that unraveled 6 years of murder. On October 21, 2009, even as Mohan Kumar had just committed his most recent murder, police arrested him in Mangaluru. When they searched him, they found 8 cyanide tablets in his possession, 4 mobile phones, and jewelry belonging to Anitha Bangara. He was carrying his murder weapon at the moment of arrest. During interrogation, he confessed everything. He named every woman. He described every location. He drew maps to help police find the bodies. And through all of it, he showed no remorse. Not one moment of guilt, not one tear. He was 46 years old. He had killed at least 20 women. And he sat there and described it like it was a routine errand. The trial was conducted in a Mangalore fast-track court. 20 charge sheets filed against him. 3 key witnesses shaped the outcome. The woman who survived. A priest named Ishwar Bhatt, whom Mohan had once approached, seeking a ritual cleansing of his guilt. Even predators carry ghosts, and Abdul Salam, the agent from whom he had sourced his cyanide supply. The prosecution presented 49 witnesses, lodge registers, gold loan records, and the cyanide tablets recovered at his arrest. In 2013, Mohan Kumar was sentenced to death for the murders of Anitha Bangara, Lalevathi, and Sunanda. The judge explicitly noted that he showed zero remorse. In 2017, the Karnataka High Court commuted his death sentence to life imprisonment. In 2020, he was convicted in the murder of a 25-year-old woman from Kasaragod. And in subsequent years, he was convicted across all 20 cases. Justice came. Eventually, but it came 20 lives too late. What kind of person is this? Criminal psychologists who have studied the Cyanide Mohan case describe him as a textbook organized serial killer. Unlike killers driven by rage or impulse, Mohan Kumar planned every single step. He selected his victims with criteria. He had a practice script for every conversation, calculated dosage. He timed his escapes. He didn't kill out of passion, didn't kill out of hatred. He killed for gold. Every woman he murdered was, to him, a financial transaction. He had stripped away their humanity entirely and replaced it with a number, the value of the jewelry they were wearing. And perhaps the most disturbing element of all, he was a teacher, a man that parents trusted with their children, a man who stood in front of young, impressionable minds every single morning. The monster was completely invisible, hidden behind respectability, routine, and the one profession society instinctively trusts. This is what separates Cyanide Mohan from the killers we read about in thrillers. The real monsters don't look like monsters. 20 women left their homes believing they had finally found love. 20 women dressed in their best, carried their savings, and stepped toward a future that was a lie. Anitha Bangara, Lalevathi, Sunanda, Shanta Kumari, and 16 more whose names deserve to be spoken out loud. They were failed by the man they trusted, and they were failed by a system that didn't look hard enough, didn't care enough, didn't act fast enough. The story of Cyanide Mohan is not just a crime story. It is a mirror held up to the cracks in our society, to the vulnerability of women who had nothing, and to the terrifying reality that the most dangerous predators are always hiding in plain sight. If this story stayed with you, if it made you feel something, hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a case from Silent Conspiracy. And if you want to go deeper into India's darkest true crime cases, the next video is right here waiting for you. Stay curious, stay aware. The silence hides more than you know.